Alright, so I've been thinking about this deck a lot, about this black-white Teysa deck I built, about the problems I've been having. So, one of the questions I didn't sufficiently answer is, what kind of deck is this? Why am I playing this? And I started making the same mistakes I was making in the previous version of the deck, which I still haven't made the video for, but I will. It's just black-white kind of fun stuff with a cleric theme. And clerics are weak. Clerics are not a good tribe. They need a lot of support, need a lot of outside artifacts. Natively, they don't have anything that pumps them up. They don't have anything that gives them more mana. Let's take a look at the deck and I'll show you what I mean. So, what I was trying to do is create a deck that Teysa would run interference. Teysa would take out the big creatures, the problem creatures that are interfering with my plan and stopping me from getting through. Problem is, I don't really have anything to get through with. I didn't have any big creatures other than Sun Titan and Grave Titan. I didn't have enough token generators. I didn't have enough pumps. I didn't have enough sacrifice outlets. The deck is just too disjointed. So I'm going to review it, renew it, rejigger it to be an Orzhov deck. So the idea is that it will be Orzhov. Well, what does Orzhov want? Orzhov is about spirits, it's about extortion, it's about taxes, right? So that's what the deck is going to be. And I ordered a few more cards. Didn't want to, but I did because I could see that it wasn't working. So let's see what works in the deck and what doesn't. That's the first part. So mana rocks, they work. I'm not going to take those out. I'm not going to spend much time talking about things that do work. Lightning Greaves, the deck doesn't need it, but it's always a good inclusion to have. It's always nice to have. It can protect your commander. It can let you swing something right away, so you don't have to worry about summoning sickness. It does a lot of things. Skull Clamp. If I'm going to keep any tokens, any token theme, yeah, I'm keeping the Skull Clamp. It's just that useful. If nothing else, even if I equip it to a creature and I sacrifice that creature, or the creature blocks or is blocked and dies, I still get the value. Mana Rock, not going to talk about that. Maskwood Nexus. Okay, if I'm going to cut down the cleric theme and concentrate on some Orzhov plan, I probably will not have much of a tribal element. It's going to be more of a barrage of creatures. So, and this really wasn't doing anything for him anyway, so I'm taking out Maskwood Nexus. Mana Rock, keeping that. Okay, find a land creature. Yeah, I'm keeping him. 1 tap, go find a land, show it off, only if an opponent has more lands than you do. So, it's diminishing returns. Usually at some point somebody will get behind you, you pull ahead, but you just wait a couple turns, don't play lands, get behind them, and do it again. Something I could do in this deck is I could put in a Rainbow Veil, so that way when I don't control the Rainbow Veil, I can activate Weather Wayfarer. I should also put in the Orzhov Basilica so I can bounce a land back to my hand. So my net is the same, but I'm still going up by 1 level of mana production by returning a basic land or a land to hand that only produces 1 mana, and then replacing it with a tapped land that produces 2. I'm not going up or down in land count, but I'm going up in mana production. So I should put the Basilica back in. Bygone Bishop, if I'm going to have small creatures, any kind of tokens, I might as well have it. Actually, tokens don't count. He doesn't care about tokens. Frontline Medic, I still want to test this guy out. I still want to see how he works. Rotling Reanimator, if I keep any clerics, and I'm going to keep a somewhat massive clerics. I mean, you can see that I'm taking the clerics and I'm just stacking them back up. So I might as well keep Rotling Reanimator. Scarlet Vathrios, he's a great mana sink, and it's not extort, but it is taxing. So even though she's from Theros, she fits the Orzhov theme. Veteran Bodyguard. Kind of want to keep him. Don't want to take him out yet. Blood Baron. Okay, this is an Orzhov card. Lifelink, texture black and white. Yep, he's good. Whisper. So, do I want to keep Whisper? Sack 2 creatures, return target creature from graveyard to the battlefield. It all depends on how many other return cards I have, return creatures I have. Now, he does sit there, and he's only a 2/2, so he can get taken out before you can activate him, but maybe he will go off, maybe he won't. So he's possibly coming out. Doom Necromancer. Now, I can activate him as an instant, so he can sit there, and then I can do my thing. The lease, Reverent Medium. Okay, at the beginning of each end step, and I'm going to keep the Smothering Tithe. So Smothering Tithe will give me counters during my opponent's turn, more likely than not, so I'll get more tokens. So I'm keeping the lease. Mentor the Meek. The problem with him is if I have any of the pump spells, if I have, say, Dictative Heliod, automatically he stops working. Because Dictative Heliod says your creatures get +2/+2, so even if I play a 1/1, it is instantaneously a 3/3 as soon as it comes into play. Therefore, it is not a creature with power 2 or less, and I cannot draw the card. So, I'm taking him out now. He might go back in depending on how many, well, look, other creatures will go +1/+1. So, right there. And then this guy, I think he worked pretty well, so I want to keep him. Edgewalker. Okay, if I'm taking out some clerics, I'm cutting that down, then I really don't need him. All he does is make the clerics cheaper. And the only reason I have one is years ago I had this deck with, it was Trouble Clerics, and I had 4 of him and 2 coats of arms. It was a 60 card deck. We were playing with vintage rules at the time, so I could have dark rituals, soul ring, a soul ring, and it was a lot of fun. And I just have him kind of for the memories. He's not really necessary in this deck. Master Apothecary. Tap and untap cleric you control, prevent 2 damage. I don't know. Depends on how many clerics. I'll put him aside, then I'll count. Maybe put him back in. Okay, Shadow. So basically unblockable. And he hits anybody, it destroys one of their enchantments. So he stays in. Lures of the Dream Den works with Seal of Cleansing. Seal of Cleansing is that enchantment that it's a disenchant. You sacrifice it and you destroy an artifact or enchantment. He can get it back. She can get it back. It can get it back. 8.5 tails. Kind of like the protection aspect. Kind of like the surprise factor of doing that. Athra's got a passage. One of the reasons I built this deck in the first place is I have this foil one just hanging around in my binder. So I really want to use them. Deathbringer Liege. If I'm doing black-white, I'm doing Deathbringer Liege. There's no question. Aura, Skyclave Hierophant. 3/3 lifelinker. Whenever he or the cleric control dies, I can return a cleric. So he's good with Doom Necromancer. It's kind of a combo, so might as well keep him. The tokens, I'm going to cut out anything that does not produce spirit or zombie. I'm going to focus on spirit and zombie tokens. She produces spirit tokens, so she'll stay. Maybe I'll put in some bounce. Graveyard control. You can't target me with your bullshit control. Other creatures have vigilance, and I can create more creatures. I can create more tokens. So he's a mana sink. Auric Champion, texture black and red, which is, especially black, is usually relevant. And I don't have the Soul Citrus in here, so I'm keeping her. What else we got for creature? Grave Titan. Yeah, keep him. Alms Collector. So I've talked about this. Talked about the fact that he only triggers an opponent draw 2 cards. But it's kind of a nice surprise. He does fit the Orzhov theme of taxing people. So keep him. Mother of Runes. Yep. Vizkopa Confessor. It comes into play, painting amount of life. Choose a card and exile it. I don't know. It's Orzhov. It will fit the Orzhov theme that I'm going for, but after this, he's only a 1/3. Yeah, I can, but I keep paying life, so I don't know about him. Sin Collector. When it comes to play, target opponent reveals their hand, choose an instant or sorcery, and exile it. That's better, so let's keep that. Clarion Spirit. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, so free tokens for casting 2 spells a turn. Sun Titan. Yep, keep him. Excuse me, Teysa Karlov. So if creature dying causes a trigger, I can play more with her. I can do more with her. But my creature tokens have vigilance and lifelink, so that's good reason to keep her. Disenchant on demand. Dictate of Erebos. Whenever creature dies, is one. Yeah, that's good. Sack creature, prevent all damage. Well, if I'm doing any tokens, I'm going to kind of want that. Necromancer's Covenant. So exile all creatures to target player's graveyard from the game. Then I get a 2/2 zombie 2 creature token for each card exiled this way. My zombies have life link, so keep that. Angelic Renewal. Any creatures put in your graveyard in play, I can sack this and put one of those back, and then I can recast this with Loris of the Dream Den or with Sun Titan. Smothering Tithe. Yep, keeping that. Blind Obedience. So Extort, it's Orzhov, it slows my opponents down. Ethereal Absolution deals with graveyards at a high cost. Causes a 2-point swing between me and my opponents. So let's keep that. Eerie Interlude. This is going to be Clever Concealment once that comes into post. So this is a placeholder. Zealous Persecution. I was thinking, okay, why do I have this? What's the point? And then I realized somebody's playing green and they play a bunch of mana elves. This will kill them. Unless they play a Lord, or if they're going to play, let's say they have a Mystic, Elf Mystic, whatever the fuck that Mystic guy is, asshole. Anyway, so they have a Llanowar Elf, they have a Priest of Titania, and they have something else. Who cares? And then they go to cast, say, somebody that gives them +1/+1. The name, it's not coming into my mind. I can picture all kinds of fucking elves that do this shit, but it's not coming to mind. In response to them casting that Lord, I can kill their mana elves. It says Orzhov on the card and instantly destroys a creature enchantment, so that's pretty good. My fogs, I don't need them. I don't know if they really deserve a place in the deck, but I want to play them. Vampiric Tutor, yep, go find something. Okay, Geist Hunter, double the number of tokens that would be coming into play under my control. Creatures I control gain Death Touch till end of turn, so she's pretty good. Okay, Elspeth Terrell, now she's good. Gain 1 life, but she makes soldier tokens. And I'm taking everything out that I'm just doing spirits and zombies. I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus this deck. Even if it does things like cuts a really good card like Elspeth Terrell, that's what I'm going to do and see if it works better. Vindicate, destroy target permanent, add sorcerer speed, but yep, that's okay. There's a board wipe. Okay, she makes soldier tokens, so she goes. Army of the Damned makes zombie tokens. A lot of zombie tokens. I need to flash it back. Damn! It's a board wipe. Okay, lands, so keep. I'm just going to blitz the lands. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of the time. City of Shadows is coming out. I realized that I would rather have the tokens to send to the Fountain Port, sacrifice a token, draw a card, or sacrifice from Archer's Cause, prevent all damage, or sacrifice. So I really don't want to be it only once per turn. So once per turn, if I have them, if I have the creatures, I can build them. So I'm going to take that out. Okay, these are just multi-lands. They're good. 3 tree city. If I'm reducing the critical number of clerics, and I realize that 21 is not sufficient. 21 is not a sufficiently high number of clerics. So this is going to go where it was meant to go, into a zombie, which is Tribe of Wizards. In a zombie, all of our creatures except for one are wizards. And the one that is not is a Deep Root Mentor that gets the wizards through because my blue creatures become unblockable. So this will go where it belongs in a zombie. Shrine, Fountain Port. Yep, sack a token, draw a card. Doesn't care what kind of token it is. Lands. That's on loan from Sig. I'm just going to keep this in here. So I'll have some clerics, and maybe I want to sacrifice. Somebody's attacking. I block. I can sacrifice that cleric instead of it taking the damage, and I gain life. So I'm going to keep that in for now. Mantar, Plains, Ghost Quarter, Vault to the Archangel, Nykthos, Shrine, Nyx. Cabal Coffers, another card on loan from Sig. So if I do this, so I haven't decided on what's going in. I'm still thinking about it. I ordered some more cards, of course. So 2 lands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cards, which is a pretty good chunk to take out for things that are better. I just have to decide what they are. I just have to figure that out. I don't know yet. And lands, so I go down to 36 lands. 2. Okay, so I need to put in another land to get up to 37. I should probably put another mana rock in of some kind. And what I'm thinking, so one of the cards I ordered, I like showing them to you so you can see them, but I ordered a Cryptghast. So I'm going to put in Cryptghast for more extort. And I have to decide, do I want this to be a standoff extort deck, or do I want to be able to smash through with some interesting things? For example, I have a Devouring Strosis, a foil one that I've had for years because I love the art. I think it costs 8 to cast. It's a 9/9 flying trampler. During your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. It's not that great anymore. It was never played much, even when it was in print. But I have one. It would be fun to play. So tomorrow what I'll do is go through my collection and put in some things to replace what's coming out. One of the things I was thinking of is putting back in Field of Souls. Field of Souls, whenever a creature I control dies, I get a 1/1 spirit. So that fits the spirit theme, and if I make this more of a sacrifice deck, if I have more sacrifice outlets, so I will probably keep Whisper at that point, then Field of Souls becomes better. I can't think of many mass ways of making spirits. I don't know of any cards that make mass spirits. There's the card from Strixhaven, I forget what the fuck it's called, of course, that makes 2/1 Inkblot creatures. Well, they're not spirits. There is obviously Conqueror's Pledge. Bang, 6 soldier tokens. There's increasing devotion. Bang, 5 human tokens. I want something that makes spirit tokens. I want to focus on spirits and zombies and clerics for the main creatures, and then I'll feel comfortable putting in a coat of arms. But I just need to figure that out. So these two, because this land does nothing, Cabal Coffers does nothing unless other conditions are met, I was counting them as one land. 2 is one land. So if I take out City of Shadows and I take out 3 Tree City and I put in some other black-white mana producing Dorzhov Basilica, for example, that I talked about before, then I can go to 37 lands. I have, 4 mana rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 mana rocks. So that can replace 2 lands. The rule of thumb is 2 or 3 mana rocks per land. If you have 2 mana rocks, you can go down 1 land. Sometimes, like with the deck such as this, I overshoot that because I don't have the ramp of green. I don't have that. But anyway, tell me what you think of this, what I'm doing. Let me know if I'm making a bigger mistake. And if there's any cards that... So one of the things I like about this channel is I tell you guys about the old cards. You tell me about the newer cards. So if there's any newer cards I don't know about that make a mass amount of spirits, I mean, the Spectral Procession, that makes 3, so that meets her condition right off, but it's a sorcery and it goes away. And I don't have ways of getting sorceries back in this deck except Mistville Plains and going through a bunch of hoops. Lingering Souls, I could play that. Then I get 2 spirits. Flash it back, I get 4, but then it's gone. So I can't do it. I want repetitive ways of making spirits. So Field of Souls is probably what I need. I just need to think about this more. But anyway, I just thought I'd share my thought process, share the evolution of the deck, because a lot of you are interested in how I build my decks. And I believe seeing the mistakes I make, the misguided assumptions in my deck building, shows more of the process. I mean, I could show you something like Animar's fucking easy. You get a bunch of blue, green, red creatures, artifact creatures, you stack them up with lands, you put Animar on top, you go. Even if it's a bad Animar deck, even if the creatures don't have synergy, if they don't have that many pips, it's gonna work. Edgar Markov, stack up a bunch of vampires. And yeah, people have been responding on my Edgar videos saying, hey, if you did this, your deck would go a lot faster if you had all these low-cost vampires and you could kill somebody turn 5. Yeah, but that's just not... I want to play with cool vampires. I want to play with fun ones. Who was it? Was it Little Mushroom Guy? Was it Connor? Was it Easy Scheming? One of the lads that posts often. There's a vampire, and again, I can't remember his goddamn name, but I think he's a 2/1. And whenever you gain life, you can return him from the graveyard to the battlefield. So you've got this asshole, and you've got Blood Artist, and some sacrifice outlet. So you sacrifice the vampire that dies when you gain life. Blood Artist says, hey, creature died, gain life. So you gain life, and then you can return him to play. Then you can run him through the sack outlet again, say an Ashland's Altar. He dies, Blood Artist says, hey, you get another life again. How about that? So he can come back. And Blood Artist, to give you the life, drains it from somebody. So each iteration of Blood Artist is 1 life for you, -1 life from one of your opponents. And basically you just ka. And it's an instant kill. If Edgar was going Trestrushna, I would do that. Oh, yeah, I would do that. But he's not going to Trestrushna. I want him for Prague. So anyway, let me know what you think. Let me get this uploaded.